مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا وحبيبنا وقرة أعيننا محمد الطيب الأمين سيد المرسلين وخير الخلق أجمعين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نور الهدى محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Inshallah, today I'll speak about the three categories of blasphemy. And this is very important to understand, because the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Aktharu khataya ibn Adama min lisani," which means most of the sins, most of the mistakes and the sins that the humans commit, that the children of Adam commit, are from their tongues. And therefore the scholars of Islam said one must take extra caution in all that he speaks, because there are certain words that are against the religion, what we say, what we do, what we believe must be under what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us. We must submit to the orders of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and if the Prophet taught us something is halal, we must say this is halal. And if the Prophet taught us something is haram, we must say it is haram. We cannot flip, we cannot say the opposite of that which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. The scholars of Islam, like Al-Imam al-Nawawi and other scholars, they mentioned in their books that there are words, there are actions, and there are beliefs that are against Islam. And if one was a Muslim and he fell into one of these three categories of blasphemy, he would fall out of the religion. He would be out of the circle of Islam, and for him to re-enter, he would have to re-testify his shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Inshallah, I'm going to mention again the hadith of the Prophet, which is aktharu khataya ibn Adam min lisanihi, meaning most of the sins of the children of Adam are from their tongue. And another hadith which the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, "Inna al-abda la yatakallamu bil kalima la yara biha ba'san yahwi biha fi an-nari 70 kharifa," which means that a slave, a person, may say a word he thinks is harmless, and that word may make him fall 70 years into the hellfire. May Allah Ta'ala protect us from such fall. May Allah Ta'ala protect us from such words which will lead to that consequence. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ Ta'ala. These words, the scholars of Islam said these words are the words of kufr. The Prophet ﷺ was warning us against words which are against Islam. And throughout the Islamic history, before and even today, Muslim scholars have warned the greater Muslim, the laymen and the rest of the Muslim population of certain words. They have written books, and in their books they have a chapter called Babul Ridda, which means the chapter of apostasy, words or actions or sayings that are against Islam. And they warned the Muslims against this, because the job of the prophets, the job of the scholars is not just to show the good, it's also to show the evil, so that we may be away from it, so that we may recognize it. The prophets, the Quran, the prophets, the scholars of Islam do not just show the good, they also show the evil. Not to be followed, but to be warned against. And so that one may protect him or herself from falling into such a disaster. May Allah Ta'ala have mercy on us. Al-Kufr al-Qawli are words that a person may say. Like for example, if something is known in the religion to be haram, like we know that stealing is haram, we know that fornication is haram, we know that drinking alcohol is haram, we know that gambling is haram. Suppose someone were to say that these 4 actions are halal, and this is commonly known amongst Muslims that it is haram to fornicate, it is haram to gamble, it is haram to eat pork, it is haram to kill unjustly. That's known in the religion. If somebody says it is halal, he is going against, he is opposing what the Quran teaches. He's opposing what the Prophet teaches. And therefore that person cannot be called a Muslim. He cannot be called a Muslim. And we cannot be of those people who say, oh, I don't want to judge. God is the judge. And there are people that say, hey, I don't want to judge. Just say whatever, do whatever, and you'll be judged on the Day of Judgment. We do not want to fall into that category of people. And they are becoming, their numbers are increasing these days, because they may think that they have freedom to say what they want. Be careful. You and me and all of us, we need to say what is in agreement, in compliance with what the Quran teaches, in compliance with which the Sahih, the authentic hadith teaches, in compliance with what the scholars of Islam unanimously agreed upon. We cannot go against that. If we go against that, we are forming a religion of our own. We are forming ideas of our own, which would be blasphemy. May Allah Ta'ala protect us from such. So be warned of that. You have some people, they say, you can't judge me. They have Muslim names, their name may be Umar or Ali or Ahmed, and they joke about the religion. They make jokes about the religion and say lies against the religion and say lies about Islam. Or they may be angry and they may say something against Allah or against the Prophet. They may say something against the religion, and you tell them, brother, or not brother, you tell them, look, what you're saying is against the religion. Take your shahada. And they'll tell you, don't judge me. You can't call a Muslim a kafir. Of course we can't call a Muslim a kafir. But if a person is a kafir, you can call him a kafir. If a person goes against Islam, he's not a Muslim anymore. Being Muslim doesn't mean you have a Muslim name. Being Muslim doesn't mean you have a long beard. Being Muslim does not mean you dress like a Muslim, or your dad's a Shaykh. Being Muslim means you believe in Islam, and you say what agrees with Islam, and you believe in your heart what agrees with Islam, and you do with your body what agrees with Islam, and you don't go against Islam. That's what it means to be Muslim. It doesn't mean just talking, I am Muslim, ha ha ha. I am Muslim, but I'm going to church tomorrow to worship Jesus. Does that fit? Does that make sense? No. No, of course it doesn't. And a Muslim would never say that. If someone said, I am a Muslim, but I say alcohol is halal, just be a moderate, casual drinker. No way. A Muslim may drink alcohol, a very bad Muslim. But he may be an alcoholic, but he will never say alcohol is halal, even though his nafs, he may be inclined to alcohol, but he will never say alcohol is halal. But if a person does not drink a drop of alcohol, and he says alcohol is halal, and it's known that alcohol is haram, then that person becomes a non-believer, he becomes a kafir. Now, what do we do? Go chop his head off? No, I'm not telling you to go walk around and if you hear someone say words against Islam to chop their heads off. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that you should recognize that this is disbelief, and you should try your best, your utmost effort to advise them and have mercy upon those people who say that. Advise them not to joke about the religion or not to say anything against the religion, and to come back to the religion by retaking their shahada. Be very wise in how you advise. And there's sometimes where advising won't even work. There's sometimes when being quiet is better than talking. I ask Allah to have mercy on us, to make us say and believe and do all that which agrees with Islam, and to protect us from falling out of Islam and from falling into the major and minor sins. No one is God except Allah. Muhammad is His messenger. Walhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihi al-kareem.